he'll be doing the first thing, and then, or is it both of us for 2 minutes?
No.
It's whatever you guys wanted to do for that opening statement for the 2 minutes.
Okay, so you know.
Go ahead.
Oh, no? Okay. An increasingly hot issue these days is the subject of transgender washrooms. So, across the news and such, we've been hearing more and more about politicians and their choices about washrooms, denying certain people access, and, well, where you can pee. Me and my friend here are going to play devil's advocate and say that transgender people should not be able to use the washroom of their choice. Because,
well, there's a lot of dangerous things that can happen when people are able to make their own decisions about their own genders. If you can decide your own gender, what else could they decide? If they decide, hey, I'm a girl today, I'm going to use the girls' bathroom, what else can they decide? Oh, I'm a teacher today, I'm going to use teacher's bathroom. Oh, I'm a Optimus Prime, I'm going to go use the Transformer bathroom, right? You know, it doesn't stop at bathrooms. They can go right there and just say, oh, well, now I'm a staff member, I can go to the back room if I want to. You can't just decide that for yourself. We all have our own limitations, and if you can change the rules for yourself, then how is that fair for one group and not the other?
plus, wouldn't it be, well, it is really easy to just say, well, like he said, I'm Optimus Prime or whatever, and then, well, nobody can really doubt you or you'll be ostracized, and that just opens up the door for like predators to go inside the washrooms of their choices to prey on innocent victims.
Also, if there's people that can go into the bathrooms and do whatever they like, then I had a thought there. Sorry, I'm looking at the notes here. And yeah, it creates just more lines between people. The whole point.
Time's up.
People would, oh, sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Well, according to the Webster's Dictionary, the term gender is defined as being male or female, typically used with reference to social and cultural differences rather than biological ones, while sex is defined as either of the two main categories, male and female, into which humans and other living organisms are defined based on their reproductive organs. This implies that gender and sex differ in the fact that sex is a label assigned based on reproductive organs, while gender is used to describe what someone mentally, socially, and spiritually identifies as. Given these definitions, why should transgender individuals who identify entirely as the opposite gender need to be forced back into the bathrooms of their birth sex if they have fully socially transitioned and are living their life as the opposite gender? Transgender individuals should not be forced to use the bathroom that aligns with their birth sex. No one has the right to tell you you are not woman enough for the ladies' room or man enough for the men's room. Whatever genitals you have in your pants or skirts should not identify who you are as an individual, and it definitely doesn't define what door you're allowed to walk into to relieve your bladder.
I disagree.
Okay, so that's the end of your opening statement? Okay. Now back to decide for your 4 points.
So, point one, well, again, it's a noble cause to, accommodate people where they can be accommodated to make them more comfortable, but in the natural order of things, it sort of disrupts, natural structure, because I mean, I'm big about tradition, and this is just, well, it's just like turning everything over up on its head. It's like, I'm so like smashing through established lines. I mean, if we're starting with this whole transgender issue, well, are we going to stop there? Like, what's next? Like, are we going to have, like, transgender water fountains, like, transgender art houses? Well, and the point is just, when are we going to stop? This culture is starting to get increasingly dependent on, accommodating people who just, offended and such. Alright, well, moving on. Point 2. Like I said in my opening, this allows predators to more easily prey on the vulnerable and sometimes young. How this whole transgender debate is currently set up is that you can just say that you're trans and, well, again, no one can doubt you. They can just go into the washroom they want to. But what stops them from going into the washroom of a Target or something? I mean, you could argue that they ignore the door anyway, but the fact is just they can just more easily go into and out of an area, and this would make it harder for police forces to catch someone. Plus, if you doubt them, that could invite some judgment by other people regarding your views on the transgender issue and how they feel about that.
One of the points I wanted to make actually was not just about the fact that the reason that people argue against this isn't because they're transphobic. They're not scared of having the other genders in their bathroom. It's more about a safety thing for everyone, right? With when it comes to people being able to just decide what they want to do, where does the line go? I know I've already touched on that point, but it really goes into not just that, but also like not just the type of people that will do this, right? Like, the kind of people that are like genuinely trying to go into their correct gender's bathroom, or the small denomination, whereas where they've tried this before in California, and they found that there was a large number of sexual assaults in campuses at the CIYU in the San Jose University. Also, the money is a big issue too. People want an entirely new bathroom. You know, there's two stances whether they should have just new signs on bathrooms saying this is an open bathroom for whatever gender you decide, or you have to make entirely new bathrooms together. It seems like that money could have been gone a lot better to libraries or school programs than just a new bathroom, whereas we all have the bathrooms we already have. I feel like the need for transgender bathrooms is not necessary at all. There's a lot of things that are a lot more necessary than that. It seems like a real waste of money to someone that's is neither trans or like that. So to the major population, I think this shouldn't even be an issue.
Time's up.
Perfect. Okay. Back to you guys for your 4 minutes.
Okay, so the reality is that most everyone has shared a bathroom with a trans person and nothing has happened, said Chase Strangio, staff attorney at the ACLU LGBT project. It is a mundane experience of how it is whenever going to the bathroom. The fact is that many transgender people can pass as the gender that they identify with, and people don't even notice. It's those that don't pass yet, those that are in the early stages of their journey, that get noticed, and they get noticed negatively. In a study done in Ontario, transgender people universally report that they had experienced everyday transphobia. 96% reported that they were told they weren't normal. 78% report that they had family that was hurt or embarrassed by them. 73% report that they were made fun of for being trans. 24% report that they were harassed by police. 20% report that they were physically or sexually harassed. And 13% report that they were fired for being transgender. There's a lot of stigma centering around transgender people already. By restricting the bathrooms they use, by gender policing these facilities, people are discriminating against them further. By not allowing transgender people to use the bathroom they identify with most, or even a neutral bathroom, we are putting them in a situation where they are at risk for being physically or mentally attacked. My second point is that gender-segregated bathrooms are an old custom from a time that scarcely represents our own. The Victorian era, they were the masterminds behind gender-segregated bathrooms, train stations, libraries, and many more places. And most of these gender-segregated locations have been demolished, but the bathrooms remain. And why? Well, people say that it's to protect women. And historically, that could be a sound point. Segregated bathrooms were made to protect women from the ugliness of society and protect them from male advances. They were designed to look and feel like home as a safe haven for them. However, society's views on women have changed. Women are strong and women are equal. They no longer need to be protected, so gender-segregated bathrooms should not exist. Gendering the spaces under the guise of protecting women is just reinforcing misogynist outlooks on society. So if there's an equal world, if men and women are equal, transgender men and women should be able to use whatever bathroom makes them most comfortable. Because in the end, gender-segregated bathrooms shouldn't exist.
I'd like to talk a little bit about mental health when it comes to the segregation of bathrooms. An LGBT task force member, Victoria Rodriguez Roldan, said, "There are real lives at stake that are being harmed. They are suffering as a result of this, and at the end of the day, these bathroom issues are killing people." Advocates for transgender people say the debates over restroom access is about more than just a physical need, and the data shows it. We are contributing to the decline in transgender individuals' mental health by the controversy surrounding the bathroom debate. In a May 2016 survey done by the National Transgender Discrimination Society, they discovered that a higher percentage of individuals surveyed who had been denied access to a restroom also reported having higher attempts of suicide compared to respondents who had not been denied. Of 2,316 surveyed, those which had not been denied bathroom privileges had only 46.5% of them had attempted suicide. Whereas the ones that were surveyed that had been denied bathroom privileges, 60.5% of them had attempted or thought about suicide. 60.5%, that is 1,181 people. And 46.5%, that's 1,129 people. That's a difference of 52 people. Just by allowing trans individuals access to the appropriate bathroom facilities, you could save 52 lives. The second point I'd like to talk about is basically two things that we kind of govern the way we treat people in Canada.
Time's up.
Wait. Okay.
Okay, so now you have 1 minute to prep before your open debate.
Yeah.
You can stop it now and then just hit.
Okay.
All right. We just thought it was interesting that you brought up the word transphobic, because if you look up the definition of the word phobia, it is definitely says that phobia is an extreme irrational fear, which means that the transphobia issue is kind of irrational, and people make these assumptions based on irrational thoughts. So it's just kind of funny that you brought up the word.
I just want to point out that we said like we weren't coming from a transphobic point of view. We're just being pragmatic here. That's what I want to say about that.
Go ahead. We put up our hand.
Yeah, just keep on going back and forth.
You mentioned predators in a bathroom, and we would just like to say, transgender people are not any more inclined to be sexual predators than any other human being. And the 18 American states where they have laws that protect transgendered rights to use whichever bathroom that they choose, there have been no rise in sexual violence or other public safety issues due to the change in laws, according to the collation of over 200 national, state, and local organizations. As for men dressing up as women to gain access to the bathrooms, would a sign really stop them? Would a law? Because most likely, if they're inclined to do so already, they would be, and would continue to do so despite a change in a law. If a predator was that conscious of the laws, then they would know that there's a law against assault and that they shouldn't do it.
All right. Well, first of all, we didn't say all trans people are predators. Far from it. We're saying people will take advantage of this law, not necessarily trans persons. And furthermore, you're right in that an actual predator would likely ignore the law, but what we're saying is that this will make it way easier for them. Because I mean, they can just walk past the door instead of there being a little suspicion thrown their way, and that just puts us all at risk.
Go ahead. We're always at risk. There's never a time when people aren't at risk to be sexualized.
So if there's always a risk, then why would you wanna up that risk by making new bathrooms, just so you could have even more danger there? If there's already enough danger, why would you wanna add to that?
But there's really no added danger. Since any of these laws have passed to allow transgender people to use the bathrooms of their choice, there have been 0 cases reported of transgender individuals sexually harassing or committing crimes against someone in that bathroom. So the people that are inclined to commit the crimes anyway are not the ones that are being affected by the change in laws.
I feel like the reason that there isn't any statistics for you to go up on that is because it's such a new thing. I think if we wait a few months, that there's going to be a lot of different stories about that.
It's not a new thing in every place, though.
This is the last year is when there's been, and there wasn't a coalition before the last year. There are no stats before the first year of anything. So it's too new of an issue to even use stats for it.
Well, in Samoa, there is a culture of people that have been around for years. They are called yeah, and they're made up of typically males who identify as women and who go about their business every day doing female jobs in the community. They're assigned female roles. They use the female washrooms, and this has been around since forever. There's never been a time that this is not documented in Samoa, and they have no additional cases against this fact. So yes, it's new in our part of the world, but not new everywhere. And there's no cases that have added to proof from back there that this is dangerous.
Okay. In one culture, there may be an exception, but you know, in North America here, we have where if the culture is half, like not half. I'm not going to take numbers into this, but there's certainly a lot of more perverted people in the cities than there is in the cultural areas where people are connected and they're part of a community. I can definitely agree that that would be less of a problem, but in the general public, it is definitely more of a problem.
We also have to take into account that it's not just the transgender people that are being affected by these laws that are in place. There's a case, a lady named Amy Toms, who's in Danbury, Connecticut, and she is a born female, identifies as female, but has short hair. She cut her hair off for a cancer charity and was in a Walmart bathroom, and a woman felt like it was her right, because of these laws, to approach Amy and tell her that she didn't belong in that bathroom and that it was gross that she was there.
Time's up.
Yeah.
Okay, 5-minute open debate is over. Great work, you guys. 1 minute of prep before your closing statements. Jimmy and Aaron will kick it off.
Maybe just like try to extend more if you can. But I don't know, that might be hard. Okay, I'll try. Do you guys start conclude?
They start.
Yeah. Do you wanna go next? We can go next, by the way. I think our whole group, so.
Excellent. That's great.
I just wanted to touch on that point that you just made about the woman in the bathroom that was saying, "Oh, you can't use our bathroom because you don't have the right to use it." Well, you know what? She does have a right to say that. Constitutionally, there are rights in place to say that we have the right to free speech. If someone is imposing on us, we have the right to say that, to defend ourselves. You don't have the right to change your gender. You don't have the right to say, "Oh, I just changed my mind about my scientific chromosome count." You can't do that. That's not a real thing. And the fact that I think that really speaks out about this whole issue is the fact that they even want their own bathrooms. I think that the fact that people want their own bathrooms even kind of speaks to the fact that they know that there's a certain danger in it, and that's why they want their own, because they know that's, or else why would it be an issue? If it wasn't, then why couldn't we all just use the same bathrooms?
Alright, well, also, it's good to be, well, I think that it's good to be respectful of people and the laws that we follow. It really is tragic that, trans people don't feel that, that accepted, but I feel that having like a transgender washrooms isn't the way to go about trans rights, since for everyone involved, we're just inviting like panic and discord. That's not very good.
Okay, that's your closing statement?
Yes.
Perfect. Over to this side, go ahead when you guys are ready.
Can I pause you for a second?
Yeah.
Do I start another 2 minutes?
Yes,
Okay.
thanks for clarifying.
Whether fully transitioned or not, individuals should be granted use of the bathroom that makes them feel the most comfortable. In the end, we all have the same intention: use the bathroom and leave. It's as simple as that. We are all human and deserve to be treated as such. No one questions my intention when stepping into the bathroom. Why? Because it's rude. So why should we have the right to question a transgender individual's bathroom intentions? We shouldn't, because guess what? It's still rude. What are you planning to do? Check everyone's genitals before they enter the bathroom? That's an invasion of privacy. That's a violation of their rights. So, how are you going to find out if they're male or female? You can't. And when they start to take the hormones and start to pass as the gender they identify with, won't it be a problem if they look like a man but haven't had a sex change yet? If they are in the woman's bathroom, won't that still cause controversy? Think of the violence that could happen. A transgender woman walking into the men's restroom wearing a dress. She could be assaulted. She would be assaulted. And that's why they want their own bathrooms. Not for the safety of the side people, but for their own. The reality is that many of their fears surrounding the transgender bathrooms is simply people making excuses for their bigoted feelings. Similar to the justifications used in segregated bathrooms not too many years ago. We saw the error in our ways then, and we made a change. We must see the error in our ways now, because people's lives depend on it.
Great. Excellent debate, you guys.